Love hurts, but you know it doesn't? Clicking like and subscribe, that doesn't hurt at all. You could do that right now and reward yourself with being attached to me for life. Sort of like love and marriage, except it's just subscribe and I don't know, what are we, common law at that point? I have no idea. This is, of course, a movie review of a Kwon Ariana Debose romantic action. And I'm John Stark from MacMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic. And we're going to talk about this movie. So, Love Hurts. Yes, this is this is a Valentine's Day movie for everybody. I saw this late. I hope we all did. This movie did not need a theatrical release, nor did it deserve it, nor did it warrant it. And if you skipped it in theaters, we're fine. I know we're trying to do this like return to cinema thing, but Love Hurts is one of those movies that on any year, even pre-pandemic, if this movie had been released 20 years ago, no one would have blinked an eye if this movie had released and flopped, and nobody would be chiding you for not going to the theaters and being like, you're ruining the art of cinema by not seeing Love Hurts on the big screen. No. Nope. Yeah, Kwon and Debose, both Academy Award winners, are in this movie together, along with a couple of familiar faces, not many, but we got Marshawn Lynch, Mustafa Shakir, Sean Astin, just like a couple of people that I recognize. Daniel Yu. What is this movie? Man, that's a question that everybody should have sat around the table and asked before they shot it. Is what is Love Hurts? So Love Hurts follows a seemingly mild-mannered real estate agent played by Kwon, who turns out had another life before he was a well-liked, well-respected, award-winning real estate agent. And he was involved in a life of crime. His brother runs some sort of criminal enterprise. It's kind of vague. It's one of those like criminal enterprises where they seem to like do everything and nothing at the same time. And he likes to be called Mr. Knuckles. It's like the dangerous name. You know, sometimes like criminals, they earn a reputation for themselves. Well, that's his. So I kept laughing the whole movie because not because of the film, but because I kept thinking of this as being like a weird Sonic the Hedgehog spinoff, because they were all like, Knuckles isn't gonna like that. Yeah. Anyway. So an old flame of his, Rose, because of course it's a romantic comedy, so let's go ahead and give her like a name like Rose, right? So Ariana DeBose comes back into his life. I'd like to point out at this moment in time that there is a 21-year age gap between these two. Like, they didn't even try to find two people who could be believably a couple together. They just picked two people who won their Oscars at about the same time and decided, hey, their careers are on the upswing. Let's put them in this movie that means nothing and has nothing to say. Let's go ahead and do that. Like, this could have been anybody. This could have been Troy Kotzer and I don't know, Zoe Saldana, if it was made a couple of years later. Like, it literally could just be anybody. I don't think they care. The only benefit to Kwon being in here is the fact that throughout the course of his career, he did go on to become a stunt coordinator in the time that his career had kind of petered out. So I'm sure the stunt work that he was doing here looked great. One of probably the few things is that, you know, it actually looked like it was worth watching instead of sometimes stunts or, you know, doesn't necessarily always look like it's the right person, or you have so many quick cuts that you can't really see what's happening. I'm sure with Kwon, they're able to stay on him and he's able to follow through sequences pretty well. Even at his age, I would imagine he's still pretty good at being able to get through fight sequences if he was a stunt coordinator himself. So, Kwon goes to the movie and ends up having to fight off people, and basically there was a subplot with Debose and one of the underlings for Knuckles, and they stole some money, and the other guy's trying to blame it all on her, make it look like it was her, but it was really his idea. And so she's trying to prove that it's not, and she's trying to bring Kwon back in. And there's a complicated story between those two. There are two other like assassins that are hired by the other guy, who one of them is Marshawn Lynch and the other one is, I don't know who that guy was. There's another assassin called the Raven that follows around here. That's Mustafa Shakir's role. And he's also like a poet. I got nothing on that one. And ends up having this interesting dynamic with the actress playing Kwon's assistant, the real estate office. I'm trying, man. I'm really trying to give you this movie in like some sort of a plot description of like how it actually is. I'm sure some genius came up with like a really quick description of the movie, but this is kind of what the movie is. It's kind of a mess. It's kind of just like a whole bunch of things being thrown at each other, and just seeing what sticks. You know, just somebody is taking everything in the house and just throwing it up against the wall, and it's like some of the things you know aren't going to stick, but they're like, well, something eventually will. I guess if you throw enough things, maybe something will stick at some point, but you're going to break a lot of things that you threw at the wall along the way. Um, yeah, I didn't have any fun with this. And the funny thing is, it's like an hour and 23 minutes. It's like one of the shortest films I've seen this year. And I don't think, I mean, it's good that it's short because you want to get out of it really quick. Like, I was done with this movie easily before the 30-minute mark. Like, there was nothing there. The character introductions, I didn't feel like anybody was ever actually connected to anybody. They move relationships way too fast, or they have no connection whatsoever. Like, Kwon and Debose are supposed to be romantically intertwined, but they have no chemistry in this film at all. None. These two people couldn't possibly be less in love if you pick two people who are supposed to have some sort of weird sexual tension. There's zero sexual tension between anybody in this movie, but they pair people up like there is sexual tension. There never is. They do the same thing with the Raven and Ash, who is the assistant, and Ash like really gets into this whole thing super fast, but it never, it's just the script. The script is just forcing things together. There's never anything between the actors or the actresses. Nothing is ever really written well enough for you to ever believe anything that's actually happening. Nothing's ever really that funny. Nothing's compelling. This I've heard it compared to Argyle from last year, or Argyll, depending on how you want to say that. Yeah, that movie felt like a mess, but that was a big, loud, expensive mess. This feels like it was a budget mess. Like they were trying to make a mess for 10 million or less if possible. And I don't know, the script could have been written by AI because there isn't really much to it. It doesn't bother to ever develop any of the characters. It's just a sort of a basic revenge plot type thing. Like, oh, you screwed me over and you blamed me for this, and now I'm being blamed for this, and now I'm gonna get you, and oh, I'm gonna chase you over here. And it's there's nothing really that ever evolves out of this movie. Um, and everybody is so wildly miscast in this movie. I don't know why Debose is here. I don't know why she can't get a decent film offered to her. I don't know why her entire post West Side Story career has been just, how do we cast her? I have no idea. I have a feeling the same thing's going to happen with Kwon, and these people are going to end up being like so many other Oscar winners, who got their Oscars over the years, and then like every offer they had after that was just, they said yes to everything. So they ended up making a whole bunch of shitty movies, like Cuba Gooding Jr., right? Like, arguably should not have won the Oscar for Jerry Maguire, but he did. And then everybody was like, well, what do we do with him now? I don't know. Let's see if he'll say yes to Chill Factor. Oh, he said yes to Chill Factor. Well, let's see if he'll say yes to Snow Dogs. Oh, he said yes to Snow Dogs. I mean, it's like an embarrassing career narrative to follow up your. There are people who have never been nominated for Oscars who have stronger career directives than what Debose and Kwon are getting post Oscar wins. It's like Hollywood really has no idea what to do with these two, and it's a problem that has plagued so many other winners over the years. It's Mira Sorvino fell off the face of the earth after winning. Marissa Tomei she never really materialized into like a massive star after My Cousin Vinny because there was so much backlash against her. She ended up she had to wait until In the Bedroom to where she could earn more clout as an actress, to kind of solidify that. I mean, she was working, but it's not that these people aren't working. It's just the promise of stardom never really came to them. And more recently, where is Troy Kotsur? I mean, I mentioned him 2 seconds ago, but dude won an Oscar. Where'd he go? And the supporting actress that won for Minari, where'd she go? It's just, we've had so many people over the years who have won, and then Hollywood just doesn't know what to do with them. They didn't know what to do with Monique. They're like, oh, that was a great role. What do we do with you? I have no idea. No idea whatsoever. And the promise of the Oscar being used to further your career is almost like a misnomer, because then you get offered films like Love Hurts, or you don't get offered films at all. Like some of these actors, like Monique and Troy, just kind of just fell off the face of the planet after winning. So I like Kay and I like Ariana, and I want them to have better offers. I don't know why they can't. I don't know why in a day and age why they can't at least have their own like solid ass streaming series. I mean, Kwon was on second season of Loki for a little while. Unfortunately, I think it'll be hell freezing over before we get third season of Loki at the rate at which we get Marvel products, because we have so many of them. And people are like, oh, we got to dial that back. Every time we dial it back, it means the next time you'll see that character, everybody's going to be like 100 by the next time we get a follow-up to that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the answer to this is, but it definitely isn't Love Hurts. It definitely isn't films like this. This is a film that in 2025 is shockingly in theaters. Like, it's a film that feels like it's the Netflix movie of the week. Like you pop on Friday and Netflix has a new film starring Kwon and Ariana DeBose, and you watch it and you're like, oh, well, that was, I don't know. But it doesn't change your life. I'm thinking about the people who like actually ventured out to a movie theater to see this, and I'm like, oh God, I'm so sorry for you. I'm so sorry that the critical response, which is really low for this, by the way, IMDb's not high on this either. Nobody likes this movie. Um, like, I'm sure there's somebody. There's like one person who's gonna comment and be like, "I liked it." There's always somebody. It's fine, but majority uh, have not responded well to this movie, and it's because it really it never cares to develop the characters. It just kind of throws shit at you and thinks like, oh, well, this confusing mess of an action romance is going to be fun, right? It's not, it never really feels fun because I don't really ever know who anybody is. Like Sean Astin walked into this movie for like 5 seconds and I was like, where were you? Why aren't you in this film more? You know, that's fun to me, is getting to see Sean Astin and Kwon team up again. I much rather would have seen that. No, no knocking. I mean, I'll watch Ariana Debose in movies. I'm fine with that. Like, she just keeps signing up for shitty movies. But I would be much more interested, instead of seeing Kay fall in love with somebody who he's 21 years older than, I'd much rather see him reteam with Sean Astin in a movie. Like, that to me seems like, Goonies never say die. Like, let's get some Josh Brolin. That's some brilliant casting, is to get the Goonies cast together in a film that's not the Goonies and have them do some shenanigans. Sounds way more interesting than this. Inherently, just pitching that concept to a studio head sounds way more interesting. Like, well, it's not the Goonies, but we want to get the actors together that were in the Goonies, or at least some of them, and see what happens. So, I don't know how this movie came to be. Now we have this wonderful Apple Plus, the studio, which is making me think that like studio heads are paying attention to these films. And I'm like, if there was a studio head that was paying attention to Love Hurts, I hope they get fired. Uh, because at some point along the way, they should have seen a daily of something. Like, if I was a studio head and I'd walked into a movie and somebody started showing me Love Hurts, I would have been like, I have notes. We're not leaving this room. We're not leaving this room until you hear my notes. I don't care if you feel creative or not. I don't care if you feel like I'm stifling your creativity. By God, we're going to talk about this fucking movie while it's still in progress. And if there's anything to salvage out of it whatsoever, because, um, yeah, this is not a good movie. I wish it was. It's got two actors in it that I really like, and I wish this movie was good. The audio description is fine. It's an action movie, and the action is described well. There's a pretty cool thing that they do with a like a boba tea straw throughout the movie, which is, it's kind of overused. It's a little gimmick at when they do it, and then they just keep using it. So, but yeah, it's well described. It's fine, and that's really all I got on this. This is Love Hurts. I want to be more excited. I want to come in here and say, oh my God, this is great. There's a K. Kwon movie out there, and it's amazing. Unfortunately, Hollywood isn't offering him amazing movies. They're offering him this, and this is not amazing. I'm gonna give Love Hurts a D+. You can do a lot better this year in 2025. You can do a lot better pretty much anywhere you go. That's not this. This is dismal. I actually, shit you not, enjoyed Kraven the Hunter more than I did this movie. Uh, that's this is about, in terms of the films that Ariana did last year. House of Spoils was better than this. Kraven was better than this. This is about as good as Argyll. Those are about the same because they're both hot messes. Yeah, that would be, yeah. I actually enjoyed Kraven the Hunter more than this. It at least had some sort of attempt at a plot and was some oddity of enjoyment in there. This is just, I don't know what this is. Mad Libs the movie. I don't know. It feels just like an amalgamation of nothing. So, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'll see you guys on the other side.